Hello, I'm Nick Purler, and thanks for your interest in our instructional foundation wrestling videos. I've been a wrestler since 1979 and a full-time professional wrestling coach since 1999 when I left Oklahoma State University and opened Purler Wrestling Academy. When I started our academy, I quickly realized that if my wrestlers did not win, I did not have a job. So this led me to get very organized, and needless to say, our kids began to win. The parents were happy, they told friends, one thing led to another. We got into the camps and now the instructional videos. Basically, in a coaching, winning solves all of your problems. If your teams win, your wrestling room is full, your booster club has a large number of members, fans come out to watch, the best athletes join your program, and so forth. Now, what is foundation wrestling? Foundation wrestling covers 4 key areas of wrestling: the mental aspect of wrestling, positioning, hand fighting, and technique. From the mental side, the number one thing we cover and teach is how to get over your fear of losing, how to define success so that the lesser wrestlers can have success even when they lose. What you'll see is that in a sport like track and field, you can get 10th place, but if you ran faster than you've ever ran before, you still had success. We teach ways of thinking and attitude so that you can learn to have success even if you're losing matches. Another key area is your positioning. Basically, positioning does 3 things. It makes you faster and stronger and limits what your opponent can do to you. Just like a baseball player has to be in a good hitting stance in order to be effective, so does the wrestler. However, we cover the 5 key power positions, positioning from more than just your stance. And this is a key aspect of wrestling. If you've ever watched Olympic or high-level NCAA wrestling, you'll notice that oftentimes the matches are pretty low scoring. This is not because these guys don't know a lot of wrestling technique. It's just because their opponent is difficult to score on. Why? Because defense is body position. Defense is not a list of new wrestling moves to learn. Hand fighting, basically we have to use our hands when we wrestle and get him out of his stance. If positioning is so important for us, it's also important for him. So we teach hand fighting skills through our push, pull, hit, pick, pass method. So we have 5 ways of attacking his wrestling stance that can possibly lead to leg attacks and scoring. Technique, this is broken down into 4 areas. Our DVDs cover 4 different levels. We have a youth series, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. The youth is for the younger teams or your feeder system, or if you have a wrestler at home who needs extra work, those videos will teach you everything you need to know. Our phase 1 and phase 2, that's basically all that you need to do in the sport of wrestling. Phase 3 is more for the very elite high school wrestler who is on his way to wrestling in college, or the college wrestler who needs more from his training. Entire teams and programs can be built around phase 1 and phase 2. All of these things are outlined in detail at our website, which is foundationwrestling.com. We also provide handbooks which will help the coaches to learn to run practices more organized and efficiently, as well as advice from everything from coaching match side to winning close matches to getting mentally prepared, you name it. So the DVDs phase 1 and 2 come with handbooks that can help you further your study. Basically what Foundation Wrestling does is it gives you a plan to follow. If you're a high school or youth coach and you're showing wrestling moves in January or February, you're missing the boat. Our goal is to get all of the wrestling done and all of the teaching done within the first 3 weeks of season, so that the rest of the season can be spent drilling and running technique sessions and live wrestling and fine-tuning areas of wrestling that we need to improve on. Basically, you wouldn't build a house without a plan, and you shouldn't try to build your wrestling career or a wrestling program from a coaching standpoint without some kind of a plan to follow. Our DVDs are also affordable. For many DVDs, and there's a lot of great ones out there, and I would recommend learning from every one that you can, However, most DVDs are $40, and a lot of the DVDs are somewhere in 20 to 25 minutes in length. Our DVDs, Phase 1 has 2 discs. The rest of them have 3 to 4. Now these also include things like hand fighting sessions. We'll teach coaches how to teach a wrestling move, how to teach a wrestling technique, how to break it down. There's physical drill sessions, hard drill sessions, hand fighting sessions that you can use as demos to teach your team or your son at home what right looks like, what it looks like to drill properly. When you consider the fact that we have 12 full DVDs and 2 training manuals packed full of information, you'll see that our DVDs are very affordable. Now, another thing about technique and other DVDs. If you buy a front headlock DVD, that man has to put enough technique and content on there to be able to sell that. He may put 8 or 9 or 10 different ways of scoring from a front headlock. Even though for a highly skilled high school wrestler, there may only be 3 or 4 ways that will work. He has to put a number of other ways on there. What we do in Foundation Wrestling is cut to the chase. If you want to learn every move in wrestling, then these DVDs aren't for you. We will, for example, work the 4 single leg finishes that will work against the Iowa State guy, in case you have to wrestle him one day. Why learn 5 or 6 other single leg finishes that aren't going to work against anyone except maybe a novice wrestler? So we have a cut to the chase method to get you on track quickly. And nowadays, I think with the level of competitiveness in wrestling, that's what we all need. So hopefully that helps explain some things. Of course, Foundation Wrestling has information on our videos and also on camps that we do throughout the year, as well as 2-day private weekend workshops where we come out to your town and implement our system and to help you get your team on track. Thank you.